So Friday we were talking about multiplying integers. So I have these 3 examples on the board, and I want to see how well you guys do with these. Understand which one. Okay, the rules. So I'm going to hide this. On your papers, write down a letter A. We're going to do 3 of them. So if you want to do a letter A, a letter B, and a letter C, that's totally fine with me. So the first one we're going to practice is, what if you see this problem? In parentheses, -2. Outside the parentheses, a little baby 3. Can I tell you what I see students do? And I'm like, no. I see students do -2 times 3 is -6. Final answer, they go to the next one. Yikes! That does not mean -2 times 3. I need a hand in the air. Tell me what that means, Vivi. That means, Vivi said it's -2 times -2 times -2. I totally agree, Vivi. That 3 is an exponent, right? Or some of you know as a power. That means take whatever's inside those parentheses, multiply it 3 times itself. Are you ready? Are you sure? Let's break it down. So -2 times -2 is a? 4. It's a positive 4. Bring down this one. A positive 4 times a -2 is a? Negative. It's -8. Show your work, circle your answer. Yeah? Okay. I'm going to show you one that has tricked students for so long. Okay, so there's letter A. That means -2 times it 3 times by itself. -2 times -2 times -2. What if on the next one, so letter B, what if it looks like this? How about, okay, copy that down and then let's talk about differences. There's something about letter A and something about letter B. Do you see anything? Are you noticing anything, Jack? What do you notice?
There's no parentheses.
There's no parentheses, he said. That makes a big difference. Are you ready? With your pens, with your pencils. From that power of 2, the exponent of 2, draw a little arrow. That exponent of 2 only goes to the 5. It does not. Guys, make an X and shake your heads no. It does not go to the negative sign. And now shake your heads yes and give me 5. Yes, it goes to the 5. X is no, not to the negative. Because there's no parentheses. So it just goes to whatever is closest. Okay, so got any with this? Again, it only goes to what's closest to us, negative. Okay, so how do we do this one? Just start with this. 5 to the second power, hand in the air. What does that mean? Go ahead, Skylar. Okay, let's do that part first. So 5 times 5. We know that 5 to the second power means take that 5 times it by itself twice. Okay, shut it out. What is 5 times 5?
25.
Done. Okay, but what do we do with that negative sign? Any ideas? So we've got to do something with that negative, but what do we do? Jacob, what do you think? Okay, Jacob said we put it at the beginning of 25. You sure do. You bring it on over. So that answer is -25. So on the back of your one, try these 4 problems. Go for it, go for it. Let's see how well you retained that. Okay, now that you've had time to try these on your own, are you ready? Number 9. Let's turn my back and let's get Joel. Joel, will you help us with number 9? Talk me through the work and I'll do it on the board for you. Go ahead.
3
Okay, he said 3 times 3, and then he said actually -3 times -3. Keep going, Joel, you're doing great. -3 times -3 is, what is it, guys?
9.
It's 9. It's 9 is 9, right? So when we times it, we'll get a positive 9. How many of you got positive 9? You did? That's amazing. Good job. All right, Joel, anybody you want, call him for number 10. Okay, Tyler, go. Okay, he said 2 times 2 times 2. Oh, yes. He said, aren't they all negatives? Yes, they're all negatives. Keep going. You're doing great.
You split it all, so it's -2 times -2.
Okay, he said split it all, so -2 times -2, which is?
Positive times positive is always positive, so
Positive 4
times
times -2
-2
equals what?
-8.
-8. Guys, clap for Tyler, that was fantastic.
Since it's negative 7 to the second power and no parentheses, you just do 7 times 7.
Okay, he said since there's no parentheses, but it's to the second power, we would just do 7 times 7. Keep going, you're doing great.
And that equals 49.
Okay, that equals 49.
And then you bring the negative over to the 49.
So bring the negative from the 49. Clap for Dean, that was perfect. Good job. Uh-huh. Okay, so Jacob said instead of negative 6 times negative 6 times negative 6, it's just 6 times 6 times 6. Keep going. Whoa, he already got that. Equals 216. Okay. Nice. He said since there's no parentheses, tag along that negative, bring it in front. Okay, clap for Jacob. That's perfect. Good job on the review. You can put that aside. In your workbooks, open up to page 19. What page, guys? 19. Go. What page are we on, guys? 19. We're on right here in the, whoa, way too big. Here in the corner, page 19. Okay, here we go. What I love about dividing integers is we always lead up with multiplying integers because they're the same rules. It's so convenient. Are you ready? So, you can shout all at once. What's a positive times a positive?
Positive.
So, what's a negative divided by a negative?
Positive.
Positive, right? Because it's the same rules. So, positive times a positive is a positive. So, positive divided by a positive is a positive. Okay, ready? So, a negative divided by a negative would be a positive because it's the same rules. Let's do one more rule. Okay, I'm going to switch it. Let's talk multiplying. What's a positive times a negative? It's a negative. Good job. So what's a positive divided by a negative? Still a negative. Same rules. It's super convenient. So here we go. Up on the board in your workbooks, let's write down, showing our work, we can just write a negative right below it, divided by a positive, and this situation should be what? A negative or a positive?
Negative.
It's a negative. So we've copied the problem. We didn't have to copy. It was in our workbooks. We showed our work by writing the negative divided by a positive. Now let's answer it. Guys, what's 15 divided by 3? Yeah, we'll get a negative 5. Okay, but I left you tons of room in your workbooks. Why? Because I want to show you how to draw pictures of dividing. I love drawing pictures of dividing. Are you ready? This is saying take 15 negatives and put them in 3 groups. So I'm a super organized person. So let's do this together. Draw yourself a big box. We only get 3 groups. So we've got to cut that box into 3 pieces. Just do your best. There we go. We've got 3 different pieces of that box. Now we literally have to take 15 negatives and organize them perfectly into that compartment. Let's do our negative symbols like we did when we added integers. So watch the board. Are you watching? I've got 1, 2, 3 negatives. See how I went from one to the next? You got to stay organized. We've got to do that 15 times. I've done 3 so far. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Convenient. Awesome pictures, guys. They look fantastic. So again, we've got negative 15. We've got our negatives in here, cut into 3 boxes. The question is asking, how many negatives are in one of those boxes? Right there. Look, that's what we got for our answer. 5 negatives. Thumbs up. I get that visual. Does that make sense? I'm okay on the visual. Thumbs down. Let me see your thumbs. Okay, let's do 2 more visuals then. So the next one, you're going to have to do little baby boxes. Are you ready? You got to sneak them into that workbook. There's not tons of room. Okay, so the first one we're going to talk about, actually, before we do our boxes, circle this vocabulary. Quotient. Say it with me. Quotient. Quotient. Okay, now make your arms, stretch them out. Quotient means this. You know what this symbol is? The slash mark? It's divide. So whenever you see quotient, it's divide. That's what we're talking about today. Okay, so let's do 2 different boxes. So on this one, we're taking 12 positives and putting them in 3 groups. So draw your box. So this is another example of 3 groups. But now we've got to put positive signs in there. How many positive signs, guys? 12. Are you ready? Okay, go. 1, 2, 3 positives, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Check. So we've got 12 positives organized into 3 boxes. So the question is saying 12 divided by 3, how many are in each box, guys? 4. There's your visual for it, okay? So 12 divided by 3, if you didn't know how the visual works, there you go. It's 4. Okay, can you try the next one on your own? Try the 12 divided by 4. Organize it in a box. Okay, now that you have time, I'm going to crank this one out real fast. Okay, guys, shout it out. How many groups do I need on this one?
4.
1, 2, 3, 4. All right, and then am I grouping positives or negatives? All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. How many are in each group?
3.
That was convenient. Let me see how many of you got that one. Okay, now how are you feeling about the visual? Thumbs up again, the visual. Absies, down, I'm so confused. Okay, let's go to the next page. We're on page 20. Let's work on that table together. So nice that it's super organized. Okay, I want to jump around. We always start with the top one. I'm getting bored of starting with the top one. Let's start with number 9. What number are we starting with? 9. Okay, number 9. It says negative 6 divided by 2. So in the type of quotient, let's write down what's going on. So this 6 is negative. So let's write negative divided by that 2 is positive. You guys, what is a negative divided by a positive?
Negative.
It's a negative. So over here, I jump to that part next is a negative. And then go back and you just got to use your division skills. What's 6 divided by 2? It's 3. So it's going to be negative 3. Good job, guys. All right, let's do one more together. Let's jump to number 11. What number are we jumping to? 11. Okay, number 11. That's a positive divided by a negative. Clap twice if you agree with me. Okay. Positive divided by a negative. Show me with your arms. It comes out as a, can you make that symbol with your arms? Love it. It's a negative. And you just got to be careful. You got to think your way through it. So positive 10 divided by a negative 2 is a shout out, guys. Good job. Brilliant. Okay. Fill out your table. 15 and 14. Now let's do these ones together. All right. Colors. All right. The things that I'm hearing, questions that I'm getting. Number 13. What do you think? Is 0 positive or negative? I think I agree with Jacob. I heard mostly positive, but did anybody else hear what Jacob said? He said neither. I agree. 0 is neither positive nor negative. So instead of writing positive or negative, I'm just going to write 0. 0 divided by a negative is, do you know what it is? It's 0. So over here in the directions, we can write 0 right there. And literally, the answer is also 0. How many of you figured that out? You did? Good job, guys. Let's do number 14 together also. So number 14, so that's going to be 0 divided by a positive. Guys, what's 0 divided by a positive? That one's going to be 0. So final answer is also 0. 0 is like the hog of the numbers. He takes over everything. He gulps everything up and everything stays 0. Yeah? Okay, let's go to the next part. So now we're on page 21 in your workbooks. We're jumping to number 16. What number, guys? 16. Number 16. I want to make sure you remember the rules of division. Okay, so the very first one, letter A, it says, what happens when you have two numbers that have the same sign, but you're dividing them? So let me change this board real quick. Don't shout it out. Get ready to write it in your books. Tell me what happens. If you have a positive divided by a positive, don't shout it out, write it in your books. What happens? And then for letter A, keep going. What's a negative divided by a negative? Don't shout it out, write it in your books. See if you remember those rules. All right, so letter B. Same thing, we're going over rules, but you've got to tell me about integers with different signs. If you have a negative divided by a positive, what is it? Don't shout it out. If you have a positive divided by a negative, what is it? Don't shout it out. Write it in your books. Okay, nice one now, guys. Positive divided by a positive and a negative divided by a negative is always Positive. So for that one, let's just put a big, it's always positive. Okay, and then let it be a negative divided by positive, or a positive divided by negative is always negative. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Blank page, there we go. Title this 1.5, section 1.5, we're dividing integers. So title your piece of paper. Don't forget to put your name on it. And then let's do an example together so you know exactly what I expect. Okay, you ready? Underneath that, just write example. We're just going to make this one up and do it together. Okay, pretend problem. What if you see 20 over negative 4? What? So first, always on assignments, copy down the problem. So copy 20 over negative 4 equals. Next, you gotta think about that. We didn't have any examples that look like this on our notes. What does that mean when it looks like that? What does that mean when it looks like it? Camille, what does that mean?
20 divided by -4.
Perfect, Camille. She said it means 20 divided by negative 4, which we've been doing all day long. Dividing. So here's how you show your work. Are you ready? To show your work for today, just like Friday, all you have to do is 20 positive or negative, guys? Positive, so we've got a positive divided by a negative. Because what is a positive divided by a negative? It's a negative. Check, you just showed your work. You've done 2 out of 3 things. You've copied the problem, I showed in blue. You've shown your work, I showed in green. Now you just got to answer it and circle it. Okay, final answer, shout out, what is it? Good job, guys. Don't forget to circle it. Thumbs up, easy enough. Copy, show your work, circle your answer. Okay, are you ready? We flip back. And there's your assignment. Go, go, go. Good luck.